Where students get confused is on how to paraphrase and what paraphrase really is. So here's my original. And one thing you need to know is whether you paraphrase or whether you quote, it doesn't matter. You must put in-text citation there and say where you got the information. Even if you put the whole thing in your own words, it is still coming from another source. So the only thing that wouldn't get in-text citation would be your own opinion about what you read. Now this gets tricky because you've read a lot, and so now it feels like it's part of your own knowledge base. But if that information could not just come from you, if it's data of any sort, then it must have citation. So you'll have to find the original source and put your in-text citation there to verify it. Even if you had it in multiple sources, choose one and put it in as your citation for where you got that information. The other thing that's tricky is sometimes you think that the source will help you. And so you might change out just a word here or there and call it a good paraphrase. I've highlighted in blue the words that I switched out. So if I switch out objective for goal, that is not far enough away from the original to be considered a paraphrase, and you will get marked for plagiarism. Same with idea and notion, because look at my sentence. I still use the word visionary. They're visionary. I used become a reality instead of became a reality. I used enrolled 100 students. So I might as well go ahead and quote it and use my ellipses and use my other tricks of changing became into become to make this work. Another way we get in trouble is marked in red. If I swipe a whole word, this is direct swiping, stealing from the original, pragmatic philosophy. Now, how do I know what I have to quote, and how do I know what's okay? Well, I don't have to quote things like people's names and, but, or words that we use all the time. I don't have to quote. It is unusual words. In other words, I don't run around saying pragmatic philosophy very often. So that stands out. And it's a red flag to any of your professors that you probably don't say that on a daily basis, and therefore it came from an original source and should have been quoted. So how do I go about it? And this takes practice. Don't worry. You will practice and you'll get good at it. How do I do it? The best trick I know is look away from the original and then tell your reader what it basically says. So imagine yourself saying to a friend, oh, in this article I learned this, this, and this. Or here's the main point that I took away from this article. And that's how you write your paper, although you don't have to use I learned. You can just state it. Whether you quote or whether you paraphrase, though, you're still going to put that in text citation. Now, here's an example of how I would paraphrase. Truly look away and just sum up what I think this passage says. My two men started Northwood University in 1959 with the intention of offering practical skills for the next generation. That's what I think pragmatic philosophy means, and I read a little farther and it talked about that. So I said practical skills for the next generation. They were looking to the future. And even though mine is so different from the original, I will do about, comma, and So that's a lot to take in. Let's sum it up right here, and this is printable. You know that your quotes have to be verbatim. You know that if you can't do them verbatim to make them fit in your sentence, you can adjust them with ellipses or those little square brackets. You know that you can't leave them naked. You have to introduce them somehow, and that it's better writing to integrate parts of quotes into your own sentence. You don't have to quote whole sentences. you know that quotes should be used sparingly. I'd much rather read you paraphrasing, or else I'd go to the original source and just read that. Paraphrasing, though, is more than changing the occasional word. You have to reinvent it. Just step away and you look for the key points. So I got a cute little phrase here for you. Look away for the takeaway. Both require in-text citation. If it didn't come from your own opinions, then you must put a page number, or not a page number, but a citation next to it. And I don't want you just plopping down dry information without summing it up as to why you put it in there.